What's up, family? Welcome back to another legendary reaction video. Over here, family, we like to take a deep dive into the lyricism, understand the valuable message of the song, and see where the value lies so we can apply it to our lives to continue to be great individuals. But before we take a deep dive into the song, I always like to explain the background theme meaning of the song if possible. So, with no further ado, Metallica's song, Mama Said, is a poignant exploration of the complex relationship between a mother and her son. As he strives for independence and grapples with the guilt of leaving home, which I feel like every young male or young man battles with because they're like, I don't want to leave because it's like this sense of comfort. But then on top of it, it's like leaving could be for the better betterment of you gaining independence and learning how to operate on your own. Because if mama ain't there or dad ain't there, then what? You know what I'm saying? You gotta know how to operate his own element and how this world operates. Let's continue. The lyrics convey a narrative of a young man who has been taught life lessons by his mother, yet feels the need to break away and find his own path. The recurring theme of the song is the son's desire for his mother to let go and allow him to grow, symbolized by the phrase "Let my heart go." Now, a lot of times, just to give my own little bit perspective, family, sometimes it don't be the young man that's having a difficulty of leaving home. It be the mother that has a difficulty of letting her nest go. And what I mean by letting her nest go is letting the bird fly free, like a mother bird does to teach her children how to fly. Is she'll push them off the nest. And then sometimes it can be the young man is just too contempt at where he's at, staying home with mama. But in reality, is that doesn't build him up for where life um, is going to test him at will for the very things that he may be trying to achieve. Let's continue. This plea suggests a struggle for autonomy and a son's yearning to live life on his own terms, even if it means making mistakes and learning from them. The song also touches on themes of regret and reconciliation. The son acknowledges that he never asked for his mother's forgiveness and that he took her love for granted. The line, quote unquote, but you gave me your emptiness, I now take to my grave, implies a sense of emotional distance and longing for a connection that was perhaps never fully realized. The son's return home, not as the person his mother might have wished him to be, but still seeking her unspoken love and acceptance, highlights the enduring nature of the maternal bond. Metallica, known for their heavy metal sound, showcases a softer, more introspective side with this track. The song's acoustic style and heartfelt lyrics offer a contrast to their typical harder edge music, allowing for a more personal and vulnerable storytelling. Quote unquote, Mama Said stands out as a reflective piece on family dynamics, personal growth, and the bittersweet process of leaving home to forge one's own identity. Yeah. Nowadays, I feel like it's a little bit harder the way the economy's going with in regards of inflation. I wouldn't say I would say set your child up for success and most definitely have them be mentally prepared, but also give them give them the setup or the success to go out on their own and not to fail. Some parents push their child out too early. Oh, you're 18, you go live on your own. But in reality is, what is an 18-year-old going to do? In your 20s, you're still figuring out yourself. They're still figuring out themselves. But you just want to make sure in a controlled environment, if they're still in your home, that they're gearing to something to be successful at and not being lazy instead of being productive. That's just my opinion. Comment down below. Do you feel like some parents push their child out too early and it leads to destruction rather than success? Comment down below. I gave you my perspective. But with no further ado, family, as I pull the lyrics up on my phone, we gonna rock out and then we gonna break down the lyricism. You feel what I'm saying? So with no further ado, let's go.
Mama, she has taught me well. told me when I was young, son, your life's an open book.
Mm.
Don't close it for it's done. The brightest flame burns quickest. That's what I heard her say. The son's heart sold to mother, but I must find my way.
I like that first verse. That first verse spoke volumes, especially when he said, "Son, your life's an open book." Me myself personally, I always say my life's an open book because at the end of the day, if you live in truth and you're doing the right thing and striving to do what's right, what is there to be ashamed about? I feel like the individuals that have to lead, who that have to live their life operating as if it's a closed book, is because they have things to hide and they're operating as secret or being very secretive and sneaky. Comment down below how you guys feel about that. But however, this is the first verse. Verse number one. Mama, she taught me well, told me when I was young, son, your life's an open book. Don't close it for it's done. The brightest flame burns quickest, is what I heard her say. A son's heart owned to mother, but I must find a way. The flame is a metaphor. Where does the sun have heard it before? This could be a reference to a famous phrase attributed to a mystic philosopher of ancient China, Lu Tzu, quote unquote. The flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long. I heard that before, especially by my old folks, grandparents. This line is the answer the son gives to his mother and is probably supposed to contradict the line before where James' mother tells him indirectly to burn the brightest. It means that the person who does not it means that the person who does the most of their life, the nicest or the bravest are always the ones to die first. Mm. Um that can be when I think of that, when it says that means that the person who dies the most of their life, the nicest or the bravest are always the one to die first. That annotation right there just reminds me of a lot of times when crime or violence tends to operate or take place, it's always the innocent that die. I don't know if you guys realize, not the individual they intended for. But let's continue.
Let my heart go.
There go the beat drop.
Let your sun
I feel like this song could be promoted to all the enablers out there that enabling a child, because at the end of the day, I understand as a parent and speaking from a parent perspective, what is a parent to let their child go out to this world and face the dangers of their world when you want to protect them? But in reality, it's you protecting them doesn't mean that they fully understand how to operate on their own to defend themselves by doing the right thing in regards to protecting themselves and others who may not know, where they can teach others who may not know how to protect themselves if they know how by knowing how to face the trials and tribulations that's going to come in this world. It's no good if you know it and the child don't know it. But if the child know it and you know it, then at the end of the day, that's even more impactful because it helps influence those who may not know it in its setting. Let's say, for example, when I mean in its setting is, let's say the child is facing some type of adversity, right? Or something breaks out in public, with two individuals, or something that may be life threatening or unsafe. If your child knows how to operate in those type of settings, not that you want to put them in those settings, but at the end of the day, giving them the mentality or know how to go about it, being cool, calm, and collective, giving them the life's tools to operate in those type of settings when they happen in an unprecedented manner, your son can also help someone else who may be operating in an anxious matter at that matter. So you teaching your son is not just for your son, but it's bigger than you and it's bigger than your son because you can always impact and influence others to do the right thing by also standing up um, to the dangers of life or things that may happen in an unprecedented manner that you can't control. You know what I'm saying? And then also giving them the wisdom and the knowledge to know what they can control and what they cannot control and to know the difference. And also, in knowing the difference, letting them realize and how impactful they can be in a positive, productive way and what they can control. So give them the knowledge to know the difference of what they can and cannot control, but also for what they can control to be positively impactful in a loving way as much as possible in its purest form. Because I understand you don't want that's the scariest thing as a parent. Your child has to go out in this world and you want to protect them from the dangers every step of the way. But that doesn't prepare them. It just brings them back to keep relying on you to how to operate in this world. And if you're not around and you're not there to help them operate, then they're gonna be lost. Well, let's continue.
Mama, let my heart
Mm,
go. Or let this heart be still.
mm.
Still.
So that's the chorus or the hook. Let my heart go. Let your son grow, mama. Let my heart go and let this heart be still, be still. The memory of his mother is still lingering and he can't shake off the grief and be at peace. He holds a deep conflict between wanting to let go of the burden of grief and not wanting to forget her completely or forget about her completely. Now, you don't have to forget about someone completely because if they're in your heart, they'll always remain in your heart, right? Let's continue. Verse 2.
Rebel, my new last name. Wild blood in my veins. Apron strings around my neck.
Mm.
The mark that still remains. Left home at an early age. What I heard was wrong. I never asked forgiveness. But what is said is done.
Okay, that's verse 2. Rebel, my new last name. Wild blood in my veins. Apron strings around my neck. The mark that still remains. That's type poetic right there. Left home at an early age of what I heard was wrong. I never asked for forgiveness, but what I said is done. He moved away from home as soon as he could due to the rift between himself and his mother. They never mended the relationship, and that fact will remain a singer because there is no time left to change it. That will remain with the singer. So apparently, it seems like the mother passed away. He's still holding on to a burden because at the end of the day, they never mended the relationship. He left because obviously tensions was high between living with his mother. And sometimes, I gotta say it to be honest, from personal experience, sometimes there may be parents that may not have your best interest as if you thought. So sometimes you have to go out on your own and figure out what is your best interest for you. Because at the end of the day, the people, don't get me wrong, they're a blessing. They did their part in raising you. But sometimes when you become a young adult, you have to leave the nest a little bit early because the people around you don't have the best interest for you. That's all I'm gonna say within that. And it can be heartfelt because young boys or a young man, first love is his mother. But if he loses the trust of his mother, then he really has a hard time dealing with women. Now, it's not the other woman's fault because of his own self, his own introspective issues, let alone that had rooted back to the relationship issues with his mother. But at the end of the day, he has to do the groundwork from an internal standpoint and forgive his mother for she not know what she doing. She's not perfect, just like he's not. To then, after he released that burden, he can operate in his full self, um, achieving his fullest potential and being able to love others and possibly embrace the woman that's for him, which can possibly be potentially a wife. Not a female, but a wife. There's a difference between a female and a wife. It's like there's a difference between a male and a man. Let's continue.
Let my heart go. Let your sun
Mm.
grow. Mama, let my heart go.
Tell him. Tell him.
Or let this heart be still.
Mm.
Never I ask of you.
I like the country five beat right here. Never I asked of you. Run that back.
Never I
Yeah, that was amazing right there. So that's the bridge right here. Never I asked of you, but never I gave. But you gave me your emptiness, I now take to my grave. Never I asked of you, but I never gave. But you gave me empty. You gave me your emptiness, I now take to my grave. So let this heart be still. Let's go to where never I asked of you, but I never gave. But you gave me emptiness, now I take to my grave. Obviously, the singer feels empty that he would take to his deathbed since he never asked for or granted forgiveness to his mother. Her death has caused his regret to a situation that may have been fixable, but now it's permanently broken, like I mentioned before. See, sometimes, family, you have to forgive others for the sake of your own sanity, because if not, then at the end of the day, you will keep having this repetitive cycle of not forgiving this person, and then that energy will keep resonating with you. And at the end of the day, you will basically delay or detour your process of being the person that you need to be. And what I mean by being the person you need to be is actually fulfilling your highest potential, higher calling on your life, what are you supposed to be doing in your life in regards of impacting people, the community, your loved ones, and stuff like that. So sometimes you have to be the bigger person, and that's just part of being courageous. But then letting go of that negative energy will set you free, because then you'll be able to operate in freeness, being at peace. And then at the end of the day, you being at peace, you won't have that type of thing altering in your mind to rent free real estate in your mind. When you could be accompany or occupy your mind with something so transformative like knowledge and wisdom as you seek, which you should find, will help you to continue to evolve in life. Sometimes the people before you are stuck in their own ways, but doesn't mean you have to be stuck in your own ways at the end of the day to make change. And you can be the better person in regards of steering the direction or steering the family tree in the right direction to be impactful generation to generation to come, because you made that transformative change of forgiveness. Maybe your family challenge was not forgiving each other, and you could have been the one to step up and be the one to do it. Sometimes you got to get out your feelings and you got to let the logic take place. If you don't let logic take place, then at the end of the day, mistakes happen and then they become permanent, because the mistakes that you could have learned from or written your wrongs, now the wrongs can't be written, because at the end of the day, you stood in the stance of stubbornness at being wrong. And now they double backed on you, and now you can't mend the relationship because she's gone. Let's continue.
Mama, now I'm coming home. I'm not all you wish to be. A mother's love for her son, unspoken, help me be. Yeah, I took your love for granted. Know the things you said to me. Yeah, I need your arms to welcome me. But cold stones all I see.
So now that's the first verse 3. Mama, now I'm coming home. I'm not all you wished of me, but a mother's love for her son, unspoken, helped me be. I took your love for granted and all the things you said to me. I need your arms to welcome me, but at cold stones all I see. See, that's that stubbornness. As he thinks of it now in the front of her grave, he understands he took for granted all the good she gave him. And only now he feels how much he misses her. The problem is now she's gone. Once again, he's reiterating that sorrow or that grief of regret. He feels guilty. Let's continue.
Let my heart go. Let your sun grow. Mama, let my heart go. Or let this heart be still. Let my heart go.
sometimes you have to be still in a situation, not react, because it's 90% how you respond to a situation and 10% of whatever happened that you can't control. So at the end of the day, if you be still sometimes, you can look at the situation. So I like how you saying, let my heart be still. But at the end of the day, sometimes you have to be still in a situation and don't necessarily have to make any sudden movements because then you'll miss the informative information or you'll be able to not see the bigger picture because you're so busy reacting that you're not responding accordingly. See, it's a difference between responding and reacting. Responding takes a process because you have to understand the whole situation for what it is, take into context what's going on and occurring. So at the end of the day, you know how to respond in its correct manner. Reacting is just, oh, I don't like what you said, so I'm just gonna say how I feel. It's more emotional. So if I can pour any value into you guys, the valuable message I get that lies within this song is at the end of the day, sometimes you have to sleep on things, but don't sit there and react because at the end of the day, no one cannot forget how you made them feel. And even if that person is wrong, two wrongs don't make a right. You don't make someone feel out of retaliation the way that you feel. Misery love company. At the end of the day, you have to be courageous sometime and do the right thing. As long as you did the right thing, you can sleep at night. And that may be forgiving your mother even when she's wrong. I've been through it through personal experience. I can tell you, my mother, I felt, wasn't very understanding or didn't want to I didn't feel listened to. I felt heard, but I didn't feel listened to. I felt spoke at but not spoke to. You get what I'm saying? So when I say spoke at and I spoke to is if one little thing that she didn't like that I said, she responded and reacted. But instead of spoke to, there was no understanding. There was the disconnect. So I always understood how she felt, but it was one sided because when it came to me saying how I feel, I get cut off every time I talk. But at the end of the day, 2, 3 years ago from now, I forgave her for what she done and I thanked her for what she did instill in me. Because at the end of the day, we all have our wrongs. And then on top of it, you have to release people out of love and be at peace because if you don't, then they'll keep harboring in your mind. And then you can't get to the things that you need to be getting to be productive, to continue to excel, and not only excel, but prevail and be extraordinary and not ordinary. You cannot handle average situations with an average response if you want to be extraordinary. And for you to be extraordinary, you have to do some extraordinary things and be courageous. And some things that may be out of your element or a discomfort zone, because when it comes to being uncomfortable, growth takes place. Comment down below how you guys feel about this because this song is centered around forgiveness, grief, guilt, a mended relationship surrounded around a son and mother duo, and love got overtaken because the hate took over the love. I always say let love supersede the hate. In this case, hate superseded the love. So no growth could have taken place. And now one has been at peace and rests now, and the other one is not at peace because he's so chaotically operating out of a chaotic mindset in regards of the heavy burden that laid down on him every day that he wakes up because he haven't been able to forgive his mother. So sometimes we have to forgive people and we have to refrain from acting out of emotion. And that just comes with maturity. So comment down below how you feel about that. That's the valuable message I got within the song. Let's continue. Let's finish this song up. I don't want to hold you guys though longer. It's an amazing song, speaks volumes, very impactful. And for like life lessons, there's so many life lessons within this song. It don't have to be with a mother and son duo. It could be with anybody. A lot of people harbor resentment or harbor grudges.
Never I ask of you, but never I gave. But you gave me your emptiness, and I take to my grave. Never I ask of you, but never I give. But you gave me
Well, amazing song, family. I think it got us life lessons within there. Spread that peace, love, and positivity. Let the love supersede the hate. I hope you guys had some type of value poured into you guys' life because this is what it's about. Comment down below your take on this and anything I said that you agree with or disagree with. Over here, family, we like to have amazing conversation down in the comments and create dialogue. At the end of the day, family, until next time, as always, I love to say peace.